Hi, we're having a look at Epson printers, how to set them up for printing images or photos or text, how to use some of the maintenance functions to check if the printer's in good order or to keep it in good order if you need to. So without waffling on, I'm going to get into it, but before I do, I'm using Windows 10 as an operating system. If you're using Windows 11 or Windows 8, you'll find them very, very similar. Most people will be using those operating systems about now. So let's get into it. Let's go into, what should we do first? Let's go into settings. Let's do the maintenance. Let's have a look at our printer. Now, there's two ways of getting through to your printer through settings. You can either use this link here. I personally prefer to do it from this link. I don't know why, I've always just done it, so I'm going to continue to do it. So there's our printer. It's highlighted, so we know it's connected and the computer can find it, and it's turned on. So right click on your mouse, and what you're wanting is printing preferences. And there we go. We're pulling up the Epson driver for settings. So let's have a look at the maintenance tab. You've got three tabs: main, and we'll touch on that when we set up an image. More options to do with setting up an image, how you want the printer to perform, things like mirror image, rotate the image 180 degrees, adjusting color. But we're going to deal with maintenance. And if you have a look, there's a few things you can do on the thing. Nozzle check, head cleaning, print head alignment. If you've got a blurry image, go through this procedure. Ink cartridge replacement. If you can't press the bin icon and get the head to move into position to replace the cartridges, you'd come here to do it. Paper guide cleaning, so on and so forth. You can play around with it. Now, a printer, if it's working right and the cartridges are working right and everything is good to go, you should be able to do a nozzle check and you should get a clean print. What do I mean by that? Let's have a look. I've sent a command to the printer saying I want a nozzle check. So I'm going to hit print. And what are we talking about? A clean print versus a print that's causing you issues. If you look at the top there, that's a very good example of it. There's no missing segments on the image. If you look at the bottom one, you've got missing segments on the image. That means that you're not getting ink out of the nozzles fully as you need it. So you may have some image loss, quality loss on the image. If you like this, you're good to go. If you've got a test print like this, you need to hit the clean button. I'm not going to hit the clean button because I've already done several cleans on this particular printer and I know I don't need to do it. But if you hit the clean button, then you'd print a nozzle test after it until you get it right. So let's finish that off there and we're done. Now let's come out of the maintenance and let's go to our print settings. Now I think I'm going to pull an image in and then take you through the print settings that way. But it's going to be exactly the same, but I think it would be more real if I take you from image into settings. So let's do that. Let's take this away. Let's take this away. And let's go into File Explorer, Pictures. So, there we go. There's an image. One of my partner. So here we go. We've got an image up on the screen. Now, we want to print that image. If you just click the print button, you will get a very low res draft quality image and you'll have lines across the paper. A printer is shipped from factory and its default is draft print. You have to go into print settings to get anything of any quality. So let's do that. There we go. We're looking for print. We've hit print and we're using the Windows image program or app as they now call it. And as you can see, we've got some options here. let's select our printer. That's the printer that we're playing around with at the moment. Now, the image is in portrait, so immediately we would need to set that to portrait. Paper size A4, that's great. Paper type. No, I want more settings because I want this to be a good image. Output quality is high. You'd hit high. Portrait. And it depends upon the paper type that you're putting in. Epson matte, glossy, semi-gloss, so on and so forth. So let's just set that to matte. So what you've done is you've changed the paper type and you've changed the output quality. And then you would hit OK. Then away it will go and you print it. Now I'm not going to print it. We're going to look at another couple of issues here. But again, I'm going to take you back into the driver because each program represents a driver differently. And I want you to get used to looking at the driver. So let's come off this. Let's say goodbye to Sandra. And once again, let's go into our settings, devices, printers, right click, and I want preferences. Right, here we go there. So, when you're using programs, say Microsoft Word or any primary program, they will normally come in and you'll actually see the Epson representation of the driver, and that's why I've brought you back here. So let's say that you're doing just a draft print, a piece of text, so on and so forth. You'd just get it up on the screen, you'd use these settings and you'd hit go, print. If you want to print an image on matte paper, you would select matte on glossy paper, glossy, semi-gloss, so on and so forth. Yes, there's also an envelope setting, although I would recommend that you use labels. You also, as well as adjusting your paper type, you also would wish to adjust the print quality. Now, quite honestly, printing on Epson matte and standard quality will give you a great photograph. If you want a really good quality photograph, you'd hit high. Now, supposing you're working on dye sublimation printing, you would also need to reverse the image if you hadn't done it in the software, and you would find that on more options. And there we go. You'd mirror the image there. And that basically is that. I'm going to show you one more thing, and that is how to create a preset that will allow you to simply press a button and get the settings automatically. And believe it or not, we've done it there. We've already got it on mirror image. We've got how we want this set, and I would call that a sublimation. So why don't we just add that, call it sublimation 2, and save. And there you go. And what will happen is, if I close that, and supposing we take this back to plain paper and standard, and we take off the mirror here, what happens if I hit this? It immediately changes that, and you've got mirror image up, and you've also got the Epson matte and high. Let's show that again. Plain paper, we hit sublimation 2. What have I done wrong there? Is that because we've got that on? And for some reason that's not going to work, is it? So we'll go back into it. Preferences. Plain paper, standard. And there we go, sublimation 2. and it's changed it to Epson matte, and the print quality is high. So there we go. That's how you would set up presets to speed up your printing. Supposing you wanted to do very quickly to set up for a glossy photograph, all you would do is premium glossy, high quality, take mirror image off because you're doing a photograph, add photo hyphen glossy and click the save button and click the close, and that's you. So when you come in to print a photograph, when the screen comes up, you just click photo glossy. It would change all the settings to suit what you've just done there, and off you go. I hope you find that useful, and if should you have questions, just give us a call and we'll take you through some other stuff. Thanks.